All right, everyone, we are live with Stream of Consciousness with Dan. Today I'm hanging out with Keith Gensure from Pine Creek Academy, a band that's been hitting my rotation really hard lately. They've got a raw, high energy sound that it just hits you in your chest in the best kind of way. Throwing that CD in a friend's car and just the whole night feels different. Keith is the vocalist and one of the guitarists and one of the main creative engines behind the project. So we'll get into their process, their energy, hopefully some of the stories behind the songs, including my personal favorite, that punch you in the face intro on Dandelion that I can't get enough of. So settle in, let's get into it. Here's my conversation with Keith of Pine Creek Academy. How are you doing today, Keith?
Good. How are you?
I am doing very well. Um, Super stoked to have you on and just talk music, kind of the Pennsylvania scene. And yeah, I just couldn't be more excited and thankful to have you on. So let's have some fun today.
Let's do it.
So before we get into, the band and music and all of that, I just kind of wanted to talk about what you looked like as a kid, just some of your hobbies, where you're from. Was it always music? Was it sports? Was it, reading, etc.? What did you kind of look like as a kid?
As a kid, I would say I was more in like a sports background. I did baseball, street hockey, football. Just yeah, a lot more on the sports end. I always enjoyed music too, but I don't think I really got into it from a musician standpoint until I want to say like towards the end of middle school, right at the beginning of high school. So, yeah.
Was there a particular album or track that really hit you as a kid that kind of sparked that, or where did you kind of have that shift from, sports to music?
I don't want to age myself here, but what got me into music is like hearing some of my favorite bands on the radio back then, because
Mhm.
radio's not really big anymore, but back then that's all there really was. So like you had to wait to hear your favorite song come on the radio, and I used to have this little like tape recorder, and when my song came on, like I would hit record, and
Oh,
that's how I would build my playlist back then. So
oh, I
uh,
love that.
just radio. Radio was like the start of gaining interest in, that's something I want to do one day. I want to write my own music and
Mhm.
have it on the radio playing.
Yeah,
So,
it's awesome because I was thinking about that before our conversation, and I'm probably going to age myself as well. So I drove a crappy Honda Accord 1994 as a kid, and it didn't even have a CD player. And again, I wasn't really into radio at all, but like I had this Good Charlotte CD that was my
yeah.
favorite CD in the world. And so you'd have to get, that cassette adapter and, plug it into your cassette and then plug it into your Walkman. And that's how you'd have to do stuff. So it's just, I think we kind of take for granted now, with all just the streaming, and you can find any song you want in the world in 1 second.
Yep.
I wore that CD out to death. It was, yeah, Young and the Hopeless by Good Charlotte. And that's where I really fell in love with punk rock music. So that's
Yeah.
just really cool to hear. So yeah, we both aged ourselves, so that's okay.
To answer that more direct, I would say like three that I really enjoy listening to is Sugar Ray, um, Blink 182, obviously for pop punk, and then another one I always liked was Third Eye Blind. Those like were my
Oh yeah.
was a little younger, so
Oh, we'll get into that later because Third Eye Blind, what's that album? Was it their second one or their first one?
yeah. What's the one with the? I'm not really good with album names.
I'm not good with album names either. It's the one with the oh, it's just Third Eye. It's just eponymous. The Third Eye Blind.
Yeah, yeah,
That was my just. Oh man, there's not a single song on that that I would skip.
yeah. They had a lot of
But
good ones.
see, I guess I know Philadelphia or not Philadelphia, sorry, Pennsylvania in general is kind of stereotyped as, being very blue collar and gritty, and they kind of have their own vibe. Would you agree with that growing up, or do you think that's a little, um, do we portray it a little too much than it actually is?
No, I think that's one of those things that's like hitting the nose on the head. Is it's a bunch of small coal towns, farm towns, and it pretty much is the same throughout the state. So I would say those vibes are pretty accurate.
Okay, well, that's cool to know. So I grew up in the smack dab center of Kansas.
Okay.
So very, well, I lived in a decently sized town, but I mean, the rest of the state, I mean, it's all farmers. It's, things like that. So, but yeah, so I just wanted to hear kind of what your childhood looked like because I remember just blasting. It could have been a Treyu, it could have been whoever, cracking the window down, smoking a black and mild, and then going home and hoping you don't smell like too much smoke when your parents see you.
The bathroom, scrubbing your hands.
Yeah, and they knew, like they knew.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's funny. Um, what was your first instrument? Was it guitar? Was it vocals? Or did you play an instrument in high school, like in band? Or were you kind of just doing your own thing?
The first instrument I got into was drumming. So I did
Oh, okay.
start. I started my career as a drummer. Um, I was in a lot of bands growing up as a drummer, and then eventually I wanted to pick up the guitar and kind of expand my music knowledge. So, but it all stemmed from drums.
Oh, that's cool. That is an instrument I cannot play. I never can do the drums. I dabble with a lot of instruments, but that's one I cannot do. So
Yeah.
kudos to you there. So did you have a favorite drummer growing up?
Well, actually, what got me into it was Lars Ulrich from Metallica.
Oh, okay.
I know he gets a lot of hate nowadays, but he's the one that kind of got me into it, and was the first drummer that I kind of like looked up to and inspired me. Other ones is like John Bonham, Neil Peart. He's a
Oh, Neil
really
Peart.
Keith Moon. Yeah, stuff like that.
Neil Peart's Rush, right?
Yep, yep.
Okay. Oh yeah, I've got one of their records on vinyl. Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, he's a good drummer.
Tidbit, I actually met Travis Barker.
Oh, did you? Oh yeah, he's obviously one too.
Very, very randomly. So in high school, we went down to Disney World to do like one of like the parades because I was in the band. And
Yeah.
so we like were in the parade. Anyways, Travis Barker and his family is at Disney World, and I'm just like,
Wow.
this is Travis Barker? Are you kidding me? Like, so no, that was just hilarious. But yeah, Travis Barker really, and he just collaborates with so many cool musicians now. I know he does a lot with Youngblood, who I really like. I don't know if you're familiar with Youngblood,
Youngblood. Yeah.
but so yeah, that's cool. So after high school, did you go to college? Did you consider college, or just kind of take me through the next steps?
Yeah, so outside of high school I did go to college. I got my degree in HVAC and I worked in the field for 5 years. So I
Oh
was doing
wow, okay.
and then one of my buddies, he went full time for music and he got picked up by RCA Records, which is, one of the biggest record labels there is. And he asked me to drum for him, so I stepped away from the career and that was where it all began. So I drummed for him. That was a project. It was a pop project called Kulik. He was a solo act, so I was like more of a work for hired, like a hired gun
Mhm.
musician. And we did a bunch of tours, and it was a lot of fun times.
I was just going to ask, what courage does that take? Because obviously HVAC is a very solid, always in demand, career. So what courage did that take to kind of step away from that and be like, I can do this?
Yeah, it took a couple months. Like we'd always go back and forth on the phone, and we were talking about it. And I didn't do it right away. I'd say it was like maybe a year into all the development that I finally pulled the trigger and did it. But yeah, it was scary at first, but I don't regret it at all
Hmm. Oh, well,
for
that's
sure.
great because it just gives, um, I'm all about young musicians, chasing their dreams, and obviously you're very talented and made the right decision. And yeah, so that's awesome. So yeah, we talked about kind of your first bands. So how did Pine Creek Academy get started?
So, once the Cool thing kind of came to an end, I was in another band. It's a heavy metal band called Take the Name, which I'm actually currently still a part of. Um,
Okay.
I was the drummer for 7 years, but now I'm the guitar player, but still in the band. And Nick is also the bass player, who's the Pine Creek bass player as well. So we met through that project, and we were just talking about, starting something fresh, different genre. And I had all these ideas on the back burner for Pine Creek, which was like my solo stuff I had in the back burner for years. And we just decided to go for it.
As an amateur guitarist, like I am, how do you practice and what is like the most efficient way to practice? Because I feel like, sometimes you can get into a rut and you're just, playing the same songs you always know and, doing scales isn't always the most fun thing, but how do you practice and what kind of advice would you give to guitarists out there?
Um, well, I think one, you definitely have to want to do it. It wasn't easy for me because I took a couple lessons and, sitting there with the book, doing all the scales, going over music theory, which was always the hardest way to learn for me. But I would say it's got to be a mix of learning by ear and figuring things out yourself. But you do have to still have some sort of structure to it, um, theory wise. Like you do need to still have music theory and, to be at a level that you want to be. So I think for me personally, it was a mix of both. Like I forced myself to do those books and learn the theories, but I also kind of taught myself different techniques and skills on my own. So yeah, it's gonna be different for everybody, I think.
Mhm. No, yeah, absolutely. It's just interesting because I've interviewed several musicians now, and almost every single one of them is like, I wish I would have known more musical theory earlier.
Yeah.
Uh, because I remember I grew up playing the piano. That was my first instrument,
Cool.
and I didn't really necessarily dislike piano lessons, but like I just wanted to play music. Like I just wanted to play the songs.
Or rip songs, yeah.
But having that theory and those scales, it completely opens the door to every other instrument, in my opinion, because I
For sure.
see every instrument now through the piano. I can be like, oh, that's an F sharp minor. That's, whatever.
Yeah, translate.
Um, and just simple things such as like transposing and things like that. Um, so yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about your new EP out, Liminal, specifically Dandelion. What um, what tuning are you in on that song?
So that one was just E flat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just half step tuning with drop in the E. We transpose it live, one more step down, but it was written in half step.
Okay, gotcha. Because you can really hear that. I was wondering if it was D or E flat because it's pretty low on the top string.
Yep.
So okay, awesome. Um, so I guess before we get into one of my favorite segments, which is the Mount Rushmore of bands, I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about touring because obviously there's probably nothing more powerful than, playing in front of a live crowd, but that's 1% of what tutoring is.
Yeah,
And
it really is.
so, yeah, could you just touch on that? Because I don't think people appreciate the work that goes into that and the just emotional and physical toll it probably has.
Yeah, there's a lot more than taking the stage. I mean, for us, that's like only 30 minutes a night of the whole thing. So it's a lot of driving. So you got to be prepared for that. We sleep in the van, so that's something else that you got to get used to.
Mhm.
Um, and I think the most important thing about touring is trying to stay as healthy as possible. So I try to eat healthy. If you have Taco Bell every night, it's gonna do you bad.
Right.
Um, It's gonna slow you down. You're gonna get sick. You're gonna be groggy. It's gonna be a tough time. So yeah, staying healthy, driving a lot, staying stretched out, trying to. I know you might not be able to run or work out every day, but I try to do something to keep, active and physical. Um, yeah, there's a lot of other things too. Let's see, yeah, those are the most important things. Staying healthy
Mhm.
and
No, that's great
yeah,
advice.
keeping your mind healthy as well.
Mhm. And that, yeah, that's got to also be because you're away from, your friends or your family. And
Yeah.
so I think, so my favorite part about going to shows, and I'm not a huge, big concert goer. Like, I don't like to go to big venues or things like that. I just don't, it's not my vibe. I love the intimacy of, those smaller venues.
Yeah,
And
they're
my
the best.
favorite part is at the end of the night, when you guys are at the merch stand and just shooting the shit with you guys, and like that, even spending 2 minutes talking to a band that I might not even have known, but knowing how much work they put in, like that for me is really cool. So I appreciate that. And because you're probably like, I'm exhausted. And then to top things all off, you got to sit there and pack up all your gear, get up in the morning and do it right over again. So,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, yeah, I just really wanted to mention how important that is to me as a concert goer for bands to, take that time to interact with fans.
And that's probably like one of the most enjoyable parts for us too. Like we like to talk to people that came out to support us, keeping the music scene alive. It's the most important part of it. So,
Well, we're gonna have some fun here. So it's the Mount Rushmore segment, and it can be a band, it can be an album, it could be a singer songwriter, doesn't matter, dead or alive.
hmm.
We're putting Mount Rushmore whatever we want. So I'm gonna put you on the spot and start you off. Who's the first person on your Mount Rushmore band?
And no specific genre or
Oh, it can be whatever you want. This is your Mount Rushmore.
all right. So yeah, maybe I'll take it from like the beginning and then stage it all the way to like my current music
Yeah.
taste. So starting from number one, I'd probably say Metallica because that's the first band that got me into music. That's what made me, pick up the pair of drumsticks and get at it. So I think I'd have to put Metallica as number one. I don't listen to them as much anymore, but that's what started it all. So they
Mhm.
got that
I don't think you
spot.
can go wrong with that. I'm going to choose, and I do this one every time just because I don't know if it's a cop out or not, but I have to go Bob Dylan.
That's a good one.
I just his songwriting, the way he can paint the picture, and just he proves that you don't have to sing like Celine Dion to make beautiful music. It's the
Mhm.
power of his lyrics and his storytelling. And I remember that was my first vinyl that I purchased was Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan. And so, yeah, I'm going Bob Dylan. And I think I'm going to go chronologically. I think that's what I'm going to do. So, yeah, I'm going to go Bob Dylan.
Cool. So number two,
Number two.
I think for me, this one I listened to in high school a lot, and it kind of like developed my writing into like different avenues. I'd probably have to say Pink Floyd, and
Hmm.
specifically like The Wall. I really love that album, and I just like the way all the songs sound.
That brings me back to one of uh, my former coworker or my former supervisor. When it was, past 5 o'clock and we were busy and we had to stay late, she would always blast that album.
Hmm.
And so it brings me back to, so well, I'm an accountant. So it brings me back to just late night accounting. So that's actually pretty funny that you mentioned that. I don't know if it's a good memory or not because I'm like, I want to go home. But uh, so I'm going to go, and we touched on this earlier, I think, Third Eye Blind. I think
Yeah.
that 1997 album is one of the best kind of emo alternative rock album out there. Not a single skip. Uh, they can blast it. They can go real soft and acoustic. They just have it all, and I think he's another great songwriter as well. So I'm going Third Eye Blind.
Cool. Yeah, I listened to them a lot growing up too, so that's a solid choice. Um, man, number three. There's a lot of ways I could go. Um, I think I might have to go Foo Fighters for number three because I know
Yeah.
coming out of high school, I listened to them a lot, and Dave Grohl was someone that was inspiring to me because he also started off as a drummer, obviously with
Mhm.
Nirvana, and then formed his own supergroup who became like one of the biggest bands at that time. So yeah, Foo
Man,
Fighters
I
hit it.
can't argue with that whatsoever. And I guess I said I was going chronologically, but I completely skipped over. Uh, I'm going Dave Matthews Band.
Oh yeah, I listened to them a lot too. Yeah, that was good times.
Uh, just from a pure just musician standpoint, just his whole band. Obviously, Dave's super talented, but I
Mhm.
mean, they just all of the instruments they use in deep cuts. Like you don't have to listen to "Crash Into Me" all the time, which is a great song.
Yeah,
But oh man, yeah, I love Dave Matthews Band. Like number 41, Ants Marching. That intro is just sick.
I used to love
Um,
Satellite. Satellite was a cool song.
oh, Satellite's good. That's a sweet guitar part.
Mhm.
I can't
Yeah,
even do it.
a couple acoustic shows I did. I would cover that song because it was really fun to do the guitar part.
Mhm. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going Dave Matthews Band.
Cool. And then I guess number four for me to tie it all together, bring it back into the pop punk vein, would be the story so far. I just think they have one of the
Mm.
I don't know. Every time I put one of their songs on, I'm just like in a good mood. That's my number one pop punk band. So
I'm just going to my Spotify because I'm pretty sure I have quite a few of their stuff on some of my playlists.
sure you have something on there for them.
I mean, they got Clairvoyant.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Uh, yeah, I've definitely listened to them. I like that. So I'm going to go to your neck of the woods for my number four. And I'm actually going to do an honorable mention because it's one of the same members of the band. So I'm going the Wonder Years.
Oh yeah, nice.
I think The Greatest Generation, the album is so sick.
Mhm.
And I also appreciate Dan's project, Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties.
Yep.
So yeah, the Wonder Years is super. It's just again one of those bands like you said where you just kind of feel good. What's that one song? It's just like cigarette smoke dances back through the window, and I'm just like I'm ready to go. Like
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna go that.
All those bands from that time span was just like really, really awesome. Like the Wonder Years State Champs, Neck Deep, the story so far. It was a good scene. Still is a good scene, but I would say like 2010 to 2014 was like the time for that kind of music. And it's coming
Mhm.
back. It's coming back, but it was just a different vibe then.
It was. So I kind of want to talk about. And again, thanks for sharing all of that. That's always a lot of fun to kind of hear who you were inspired by because you can, hear it in your music. But I just kind of wanted to talk about what being punk means in general. Because obviously, when it was first starting, you're talking like, I don't know, Sex Pistols and bands like that, the kind of
Yeah.
like rebelling. But for me, that's not what being punk is per se. So I just kind of wanted to get your take on that.
Uh, I guess for me, just being punk is just like being yourself, sharing your story, and not caring what anyone has to say about it. Like as long as you're staying you and you're being real and being honest, that's all that really matters. You put it in the music, you go out, you play it, and whoever likes it, great. Whoever doesn't, that's okay too. But I'm not gonna shape myself either way to try to
Mm.
like get this fan base or get this fan base. Like, we are who we are. We're gonna play, everything that we are and what we stand for, and we'll stick by it. So I guess
No, that's
that's
a
kind
great.
of that's my definition of it anyway.
I think that's a great definition, and I remember watching the music video. It's Blink 182. Where's the one where they're just like completely like naked running around?
Oh yeah, is
Do you know?
that always? I don't know. I feel like it might be always or something like that. I know what you're
I don't know,
talking
but
about.
like, but it's just like, I mean, that might be a little extreme because that's illegal to do that. But but it just like I'm gonna do this, and because that's who I am. I'm kind of crazy, a little weird, but
Yeah,
that's just who I am, and I'm not gonna apologize for it. That's kind of my definition for punk.
yeah, for sure.
Um, let's see what else we talked touring. So I really wanted to get into Liminal again because I think it's a really just a super incredible EP. Just the inspiration behind it, kind of just your songwriting process in general. Like, do you start with the lyrics? Do you start with the music? How does that come about?
I would say most of the time it stems from like a guitar idea or just a melody that I hear in my head and I translate to a voice memo. And then I'll start, building the song from there. And then that's when lyrics come into play. So I would say 9 out of 10 times it comes from some kind of riff or just a vocal thing that comes across my mind and kind of go from there. Sometimes I do have a specific story and I will start from the storyline, like the lyrics,
Mhm.
but I would say that's more rare. For me, it's more of a riff or a melody that begins everything.
Oh, pardon the interruption, folks, but I have a song I have to share with you today. It is titled Dandelion, obviously by Pine Creek Academy on their latest EP, Liminal. It absolutely slaps, and I'll let you just hear it for yourself.
You put me in I'm a rainy day. You're the sunshine. This won't get better. I'm not together, but you're hanging on 'cause it feels right. I'm addicted to the bed, makes me feel alive. Pull the trigger if you wanna slam, not afraid to die. Make up your mind, stop wasting time. Hope you broken me, you're my deadline. Cold shock to your heart, jumpstart and make it beat. Your mistakes giving me your energy, 'cause I'll try to make it right. But I'm only human, so I gotta lie on my nights. Hang around, I'm gonna time, but you keep coming back to what you see. I never meant for the torment, but I can't help myself from misery. I'm addicted to the bed, makes me feel alive. Pull the trigger if you wanna swim, not afraid to die. Make up your mind, stop wasting time. I'm your broken mirror, you're my dandelion. I'm your broken mirror. I'm a dandelion.
Yeah, and so kind of speaking of riffing off of that, how important do you think it is? Because when you're writing the lyrics to a song, you have a specific message that you are trying to portray, whether it's a real life experience or maybe a fictional experience, but I could hear it in a completely different way. And I think that's what makes music so powerful. So I just kind of wanted your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think that's another really cool thing about music is you can really take information and spin it into your own needs. Like you can hear a song and you could take a meaning that's completely different from what the actual song meaning is. And for you, that, might get you through something, whether you're going through this or going through that. That specific song can help you get through that and get over it. So, it's a really cool thing.
It is. And yeah, I wanted to get a little personal. Like music literally saved my life.
Yeah.
I mean, literally. So I just want everyone out there to, just support bands like you and just appreciate music for what it is. Don't get sucked into kind of soulless music. I don't know, sometimes I don't want to get down the rabbit hole too much, but I can't listen to like pop radio. Like I just can't do it. It's just to me it's so shallow.
Yeah, it's well, it's the sellout culture there. I mean, that's just I don't even know if they know what they're talking about in half of the songs. It's just, get it on the radio, make it stupid, make it simple, and just market it.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of like, the genre that we're in because I feel like it's still real. The music is real, the lyrics are real. It's not we're just trying to make a hit to get it on the radio and make a bunch of money from it. It's no, this is a story that I want to tell. So, yeah, there's a lot of dark avenues in music and we're never going to go down that road. So, also AI. AI is just killing everything.
It's a well, again, I think that's why I really wanted to have you on because just listening to your music, just your authenticity is refreshing because the guests I want to bring on this podcast need to be authentic.
Mhm.
So I appreciate it so much. Let's talk about your gear. What kind of guitar are you playing?
So I play a Fender Strat, Player Series. I think it's a Player Series One. I actually just got it last year. Um, yeah, I actually started this project just singing, and now I'm doing guitar. So it's a lot. It's fun. It's very fun.
Mhm. Well, I love that. I've got a Dan Electro myself.
Oh yeah, well before I started this project, I had one of those. It was orange. It was really cool guitar, but I didn't know what I was doing yet, so I acted too soon and sold it on eBay.
We've all been there. I had a sweet guitar and I sold it too in college. Uh, but no, that I have a Dan Electro and it's like baby blue. Oh, it's just there it is.
Yeah, this is a Strat. I'm really into the color, so that one's lime green.
I like
So
it.
yeah.
Uh, uh, and I really also want to talk about your music videos because I do feel like you guys put a lot of work into those, and it really makes it the song. I mean, obviously, I love the songs, but it just makes it so much more fun when you have a cool music video to watch because we grew up. We're aging ourselves again, where there was actually music on MTV.
Yeah.
Um,
Good times.
and that kind of went away a little bit. Obviously, I can't even watch MTV now. But so talk about why you put so much effort into those music videos because I feel like you do and it shows.
Yeah, well, I think that's another one of those things where watching music videos on MTV when I was younger was like another inspiration of, oh man, it'd be so cool to be in a band and have a music video on TV. And now we get to the point and there is no MTV, and some people say like music videos don't matter anymore. So we like to do it as much as we can and just get them out there because they're always going to be there for people to see and look back on, and it's kind of like a reflection thing for us as well where 20 years from now, like there's a music video to go back and watch, and I think that's like just so much. It's just a little bit better than going back and listening to your music. Like, oh, we can actually
Mhm.
see ourselves performing it and the story that we had to tell behind it. And it's just, I don't know, it's more nostalgic, I think, in the future to look back and see a video rather than just the song itself.
Yeah, I'm sure it brings back memories of recording that music video, spending time with your best friends, and always having that there.
Hmm.
Um, So I was watching a movie. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's called Sing Street. Are you familiar with Sing Street?
No, I don't. I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Well, it's about a young kid from Ireland who is kind of bullied. He's forced to go to this really strict Catholic school, and he kind of finds his way through music.
Yeah.
And but I just remember like he was watching the music video. Oh, "Take on Me" by Aha,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and or oh, was it "Flock of Seagulls"? It doesn't matter. But like he would see this music video, and it just like sparked something in him, and he got all his friends together, and they made their own music video, and it's just a really cute, sweet movie. So I'd recommend watching that for sure.
What platform is that on?
Um, oh yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I see it right here. Yep.
Yeah, I'd recommend watching that. It's a little sappy, but it's sometimes you need that.
Yeah, I can appreciate it. Put a star next to that. Give that a watch.
Uh, so I wanted to kind of ask if there are any bands, in your area that I could also check out because I'm always looking for bands like yours that are, doing it the more authentic way, if you will, like we discussed, that might not be, as popular that I might not have heard of because I'd love to, just keep exploring and maybe if I can get in touch with them and promote their music as well, it's really important to me.
Yeah, I mean, phew, the PA scene's pretty good lately. I could sit here for hours going over bands, but I guess groups that are more close to me and like of a similar genre. There's Near Tragedy. They're pretty cool. He actually lives only about 15 minutes away from me.
Oh, cool.
They're a cool pop punk band. Lyndhurst is a cool group near the Harrisburg area in Pennsylvania.
And how do you spell that?
Lyndhurst.
Okay.
And yeah, as far as pop punk, I can't really think of anyone else in like really close to me. But those are two great ones.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely check those out. Um, so I guess what's on the horizon for you guys? Obviously, you just released this EP. Will you be touring soon, or kind of what's coming up next?
Yeah, so we just dropped that early January. We're going back and forth to see what we're doing label wise, and going over what makes the most sense as far as that kind of stuff goes. And we're just trying to book shows. So our plans are a lot of shows, a lot of new music, and whatever else comes along with it.
Yeah, well, I want to give again you the stage to tell my audience how they can support you specifically and bands like you, whether it's buying merch or obviously sometimes they may not be coming to your area for a show, but how do we support you? Because I mean, I can listen on Spotify 1,000 times. You might be seeing a third of a cent per stream. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So how can we really support you?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is merch. Merch really helps artists like us out. And then just giving us a follow on all platforms. Um, yeah, I would say merch, following. If you can make it out to a show, great. But if not, that's okay too. Just hit the follow button.
Well, we can do that. So you heard it from the horse's mouth. Keith said to hit the follow button. So everyone listening out there, go out and hit that follow button. Buy some merch. Let me check out some of the merch right now. I was on the website.
Yep. Yeah, and then all our socials are also on that website too. So,
Okay, perfect. And buy their. Do you have vinyl?
yep. We
Okay,
have
yeah.
three EPs out now, and on the website, there's a little area that you could go to the vinyl section of it.
And I'm sure that would also help as well. So, and trust me, everyone, there's something
We got the
nostalgic.
so
Oh, go
this
ahead.
is that's the flying saucer vinyl that we have. So it comes in like a little sleeve. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that is sweet. And yeah, as I
That's
was saying,
not our most recent one, but that's the album we dropped before. So
yeah, as I was saying, go and buy the vinyl.
Mhm.
They will get so much more monetary value from that than any stream.
Yeah.
I was talking to an artist. She actually lives about 45 minutes from me here in Nebraska, and
Cool.
she was saying, I think they make, I don't know, it's like a third of a penny per thousand streams or something like that. I don't know exactly what the.
Yeah, it doesn't really pay out much at all.
So I guess I didn't know if you wanted to expand on that at all, because she had mentioned an initiative that they're trying to kind of improve that, or if you wanted to get into that at all, because it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like you're between a rock and a hard place. Like Spotify does get you exposed. That's how I found you, was through
Mhm.
Spotify, but as many times as I listen, I've probably given you, like I said, like 3 cents.
Yeah,
So, what are your thoughts on that?
um, really just make sure you put your music on everything because I think Spotify is still the number one uh, tool that people use to find bands and kind of like see where they're at level wise. But you can do other things like we put all of our songs on Bandcamp and then people can buy it. So like you can make like $1 or two if someone wants to buy your song and that's like I don't know 2,000 streams if it were on Spotify.
Mhm.
So I guess yeah, my advice would be just get your music on everything that you possibly can, whether that's like SoundCloud, Bandcamp, iTunes. They actually pay a lot better than Spotify. just find every possible way that you could get your music out there, and it'll pay itself off. Also,
Yeah, that's
ads.
oh
It
oh go
sucks,
yeah.
but you gotta run ads these days. So we do a lot of meta ads as well.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really good advice for everyone out there. And as I said, please everyone go out to their website, buy a t-shirt, buy a hat, buy a vinyl. That will last forever.
Yep. Yep.
And there's something, again, nostalgic about it, and having to listen to the whole record. You can't.
Hold on to it. You can touch it.
And it's
People,
beautiful.
yeah, it's artwork too.
So no, I couldn't agree anymore. So well, Keith, man, this has been awesome. um I appreciate so much you spending some time with us today, just your authenticity, your candidness, and again, your music just slaps. I can't even find another superlative to use. So,
We appreciate it.
so yeah, keep doing what you're doing, and I'm excited to see what you guys do next. I will always be in your corner cheering for you. I will link all your social, your website, everything. I will be buying a copy of Liminal on vinyl today, and so yeah, so this has been Stream of Consciousness with Dan. We are going to sign off with Keith of Pine Creek Academy, and we'll see you next time.